In a world where politics and bloodlines go hand in hand, the nobility of this world have a unique perspective on the whole affair, from treacherous plottings to politically allying houses through trade and offspring. But no matter the background, children will be children. Today, we are telling the tale of a familiar name, one we have just met, that of Balance's brother, Prince Pintor, as he spends time with his two closest friends, more sibling than friends. The question here is, how aware of the shifting in politics are the young, and will this young princeling live up to his title when the time arises? Welcome to Pintor's backstory in The Lucky Die.
We find you today in the Darkhammer stronghold with your friend Thakit. Thakit is the son of Rowena Darkhammer, the queen of the dwarves. He is your friend. He's been your friend for, well, ever since you can really remember. Thakit is kind of tall for a dwarf. He's broad, particularly broad because he's a born blacksmith, and he is never too far from his hammer, nor too far from his forge, or his weapons, or his friends. In the room that you find yourself today, you are in his personal quarters. You are visiting here. To be fair, you probably just spent most of your time here anyway. Mm-hmm. In the corner, there is another dwarf. She is a younger female dwarf. She has long curly hair and the deepest, darkest green eyes you've ever seen, and her face is smattered with freckles. She is technically a page, a runner in service to Thakik, but neither of you treat her as such, and she does not behave like that when you two are around. Today, you three of you are just kicking back, chilling about, doing whatever it is that young people do in the Darkhammer stronghold. What do you want to do at the moment?
I would honestly think that the three of us are sitting around, probably bored because we'd rather be literally anywhere else. We probably got called for a specific reason, or we're on guard, or there are guards watching us our every move, so we're kind of just hanging out, and we requested, I'm sorry, what was her name again? I can't remember her name.
You mean the lovely, beautiful young
yes,
dwarf, Renala?
That one, Renala. That was right. Renala. We probably requested Renala to come join us secretively, but also to get her out of work too, so she could be bored with us because we wanted to torture her as well. Yes,
that sounds perfect. As the three of you are just like sitting here being bored together, Thakit stands up and he turns around and he says, "I am so bored. Maybe what we ought to do to lighten our afternoon is maybe have a little bit of an archery contest."
That sounds very good with me, bruv.
And then Renala says, maybe we could make it a little bit more than a competition. Maybe we could have a little fun with it this time.
What you got on mind?
All right, if you're doing that, fuck you. All right. All right. She had slow, breathy Scottish, which didn't happen. So, all right, fine.
I mean, we're going a bit of Cockney today, so
Going for a bit of Cockney. All right, darling.
Cockney, but as soon as I'm around royalty, it's hello, sir, and hello, ma'am, madam.
Hello, madam.
Hello, madam.
He's going to hate you
How
so
are
much for this accent. So happy. She says, Renala stands up and she says, well, maybe we could make a little game of it, a proper little contest.
I like that.
Yeah. How about we make things a bit more interesting? You lose if you stop moving.
Oh.
I like the sound of this.
That sounds good to me.
I mean, you can't stop taking a shot. What if you're in the middle of a battle?
It's true. All right. First things first. Let's get away from the old fuzz over there, and then we can get our equipment. Where you want to go?
Well, I was thinking maybe we should just. She looks around like left and right. Like, maybe we should, I don't know, expand our normal area. Maybe rather than just, out in the archery range.
All right.
I like it. What I'm thinking though is maybe it should be in the entirety of the castle.
I like that. All right, Renola, get us a way out. Give us a distraction. Me and Fake It. We'll head down, get our stuff. We'll meet you downstairs.
All right, I've got a good one. And you see her smile wickedly at you, give you both a bit of a wink, and she runs out of the door. And about a minute later, you hear, "Oh no, my lord, someone's broken in. Someone's taken the queen's precious jewels." And you hear her yelling this as she's running off into the distance, and you hear the guards just like, what's going on here? And you see, you hear many booted feet, and then you see Fake It just shake his head, roll his eyes a little bit. It's like, all right, she's going to get into so much trouble for this one.
That's why I love her, right?
You be careful with this one.
All right, let's go.
All right. The two of you over comically checking that the coast is clear. Mm-hmm. The coast is definitely clear. Renala has done her job very, very well.
As usual, as we would expect.
Exactly, as one would expect from Renala. You guys make your way down to the armory. There's an older dwarf sitting here. He's just leaning against the door frame, just checking over things and ticking off against a list. And your items are definitely there. They're just amongst all the other stuff past the guard.
All right, Fake It. Listen up. We need another distraction, but this time, I think you should do it, and I'll sneak in. I'm good with sneaking and not being seen. So you make a distraction, I'll slip in the back, get our stuff, head outside, and we'll get Renala to meet us out there.
All right.
Sound good?
I can pull rank on this one. And you see the young dwarf sort of roll his shoulders, pull out his hammer, and you see him stride over like the Prince born, that he literally is. And he stands in front of the dwarf, and in Dwarvish, he turns to him and says, "It has come to my attention that you are shirking your duties, and my mother wishes to speak with you." Fuck it, I'm going to make him roll. He's not the most charismatic of people, I will be honest.
Fake It.
But damn if that wasn't an ad 20.
Oh, that's my boy!
That's our boy! The gentleman looks rather confused and suddenly snaps upright to attention. Sort of you see him nod and bow to his superior. And Fake is like, "Yes, I think you should come with me, and I will escort you to the nearest other guards so they can deal with you appropriately. Come." And he again walks off over pronounced footsteps and head held extremely high, hammer swinging to one side. And he looks back at the dwarf who still hasn't moved. He's like, "Now," and the dwarf skitters off after him.
Perfect. So that's going to be my cue, and I'm going to slip in, get all of our stuff. I'm going to say that actually I have a special short bow that I made when I was younger, and I've been using the same short bow for years upon years upon years, and it's seen lots of wear, but I love it. And I have a few things etched into it.
Like what?
A few names. I have Thakit's name, I have Renala's name, and I have my father's name. All the people that have had a lot of, my father and my mother, all the people that have had a big influence on my life. And I've been adding the names over the years.
Okay, that's good to know. There's, you have them like evenly spaced. You have like some pretty big patches which are kind of, still waiting for names, let's say.
Yeah.
At this point, I'm probably going to throw this out there. You're exactly 45-ish years old.
Yes, absolutely.
Exactly-ish 45 years old. That's what I said. I'm sticking with it.
Yes.
Seiki himself is about 7 years younger. He's 38. Renala is actually a little bit older than you, but you've never had the nerve to ask. And she doesn't bring it up. No point. Yeah. What is the point?
So that's just rude to ask.
Exactly. Not that she's a lady, but
You never ask a dwarf their age.
No, it's just rude. Okay. You go in there, you find your special short bow, you find the short bow that Thakit favours. What do you take for Renala? She doesn't own a bow.
Renala doesn't own a bow. I'm going to get Renala a set of daggers.
Okay.
It seems like she'd have fun with those.
Okay, that's actually perfect for what I'd written down.
Look at that.
Look at that. Okay. You grab yourself your bow, his bow. You grab let's say 6 daggers because, you can carry them all.
And as many arrows as I can carry, of course.
Yeah, as many arrows as you can carry, of course, because we don't bother tracking that shit. And you make your way where? Where would you three normally meet after one of these escapades?
So I would say we would meet. We have a meeting spot somewhere outside of out of the castle, and it's probably like a special courtyard or like a bush that we all know that we would like hide in as kids, and then over time it just kind of became the spot.
Okay.
So it was like out in the courtyard somewhere. There was like a specific bush that we all know of. That's our bush. That we've all etched our names into and spent a lot of time hiding in there when we didn't want to be seen. So now that's become the spot, and
the spot, TM.
We meet up there whenever we end up going anywhere else.
Okay, that's actually really cool. It sounds odd. Roll a survival check for me.
Sure. That's a 6.
Okay, it's not as hidden as you once thought it was. You guys are clearly getting older, and it's slightly more trampled than it used to be. But
it's still
the woody base is still there. The names are still carved. It just no longer hides you as it once used to. You have all grown in the 45 years that you have been alive.
That is true. We are not kids anymore, but we're still kids at heart.
You are basically still kids. I do want to rule this out. You are basically still kids.
Yeah.
Not quite, you're kind of in that late teenage area where you're almost an adult, where you think you're an adult, but you're not really quite yet. You're in that kind of like tender teenage years.
The overwhelming dread of responsibility hasn't set in yet, so it's fun.
Okay, that's cool. I like it. You head to your spot, and Renala is pretty much already there. You see her just like, sort of like standing there looking around like she's supposed to be doing something. It's far easier for her to blend into the background, being that she's a servant. But yeah, she's around the area waiting for you, and as you turn up, she flashes you a quick smile.
I'll walk over to her and be like, "Hey, got your little present," and I hand her over the daggers.
Oh wow, thanks.
No problem.
Well, I'm not sure I'm going to be able to play bows and arrows with these, but I've got an idea.
All right. I knew you'd come up with something.
You can always rely on me for that sort of thing. And as she says that, you hear Thakit kind of clunking his way over. He's not the most subtle of dwarves.
Yeah. Well, I guess without even turning around, I'm like, all right, I guess we're all here. So let's head out the gate. Or side, at least.
No.
No?
I like Renala's idea. I think we should. I want to see what kind of mischief we can get up to inside here.
Oh, right. All right.
All right, how about this? Each of us picks a target as we go moving. Like, we'll start Renala, then you, then me.
Okay.
And then We've got to get it as close to the object as possible without breaking it.
All right.
And then,
that sounds good.
And then Renala says, and then the other thing we can do is that we get bonus points if we break the other person's arrow or you hit my dagger.
All right. That sounds fair.
Yeah.
Who's going first?
And you see her put her fist forward, and so does Thakit, the traditional, like, I don't know what you guys call it in America. We just call it paper, scissors, rock.
It's rock, paper, scissors, same thing.
Whatever. Basically, the three of you put your hands out and you do this.
All right.
Roll. Just roll a straight D20.
Straight D20. Okay. A natural 1. Guess I'm going first.
Yep, you put paper out and they both put out scissors and they just look at you and shake their head and take it as like every time. Every time.
I just don't learn. I should really pay attention to that more often.
Yeah, you probably should.
Damn. That's my 9 intelligence coming into clue. God damn it. All right. I'm gonna stretch out a little bit, get myself nice and limber.
You see Thakit not even attempting the same.
Yeah.
He's neither he's particularly not dexterous at all, but he is very, very strong. You know that he'll probably struggle in this, but he's always game for this sort of stuff.
Yeah.
And Renala, you see her eyes glow. She mutters quietly to herself and floats the daggers in her hands. She's clearly ready to go with whatever stupid spell she has. All right. Where do you start?
All right, so we're out in the courtyard, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna say that out in the courtyard there are several of the lights that came from my family as a gift. There's several lights floating around, and I'm gonna say that some of those are gonna be targets as I'm running past. Trying to, like, if one's floating by a tree, I'm going to attempt to hit the tree and not hit the light and get as close as I can to the light as possible, because if I break it, I could just get Daddy to replace it.
Oh, I like it. Okay. Bearing that in mind, I will make these two roll at disadvantage, because the idea that you think you can break them and get away with them is probably better than Thakit, who probably doesn't want to break them because he'll get into trouble.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Renala, who, if she breaks anything, is boned.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. All right, so the three of you set off at a run. I'm going to say, because you are so... let's say confident, I won't make you roll at disadvantage because you're running.
Yep.
All right, okay, so the three of you run forward, you take the lead, Thakit follows behind, and Renala follows behind after that. All right, make your attack roll.
All right, here we go, short bow. First one's a 10.
Oh, okay. You throw this, you pull your bow and you release as you're running, and the arrow just goes just flying past the orb, just barely grazing it, and you see it just like hit the tree and just break into like a score of different pieces. You see almost instantly following behind it is Thakit's, and his arrow does almost literally the same, because his disadvantage was the same. However, Renala's sterling roll of 18 and a natural 20. Ooh. Her 18, her dagger just skims past, so you can just see the hilt just like grazing past this orb, this light orb that's hanging in the sky, and you see it just thuds square into the tree. It doesn't even like vibrate, it's just solidly stuck in this tree, and you hear her laughing as she says, you gotta try a bit harder than that.
The smile on Pintor's face definitely fades, and he's gonna start getting serious now.
You get serious as Thakit and Renala overtake you as you are put into the back of this trio. Now you've had your shots. Thakit is going to lead you inside. He leads you inside and runs along the corridor, and he takes a pot shot at this suit of armor, which is, you suspect it's fairly old. And when Thakit has told you the story, he's implied that one of the dwarven masters made it way back in the day, even before his mother has started making these sort of things. It's an ornate bronze piece. It's probably better for aesthetics than function. And as they run along, as the three of you run along, he pulls his bow. And he aims to just graze the visor, just at the front of this thing. He's running, so it's disadvantage. Oh, he didn't do badly. You see this arrow literally just clip, and you hear this kind of tang noise coming off. It just clips it just enough to make a noise, but not enough to veer the arrow off target. Shortly after that, you see Renala move her arm back, and she throws the dagger. Damn, girl. Oh, that's better. She had a 19 and a 2.
Oh.
You see this. You kind of like feel and hear the impact of this dagger just hitting this visor square in the head, and you see the visor just vibrate and shake and begin to fall off. What are you gonna do?
I'm going to try and balance it on the other side to see if I can clip it back onto the thing so it doesn't make any noise.
I'm going to say that's going to be a very difficult check. You are running. You are doing something difficult, so I'm going to say it's at disadvantage, but this is hilarious.
That's a 9.
No. If anything, when it's like as she's hit it and it's kind of like teetering on the edge, your arrow just clips it, and that's what tips it over to fall off. And you guys hear this resounding, like, this kind of like crash of armor as it just bounces across the floor, and the three of you make a run for it. Renala speeds up to take the lead, and she dodges down one of the kind of like side passageways, one that's slightly concealed, one which the serving staff would use. You're probably familiar with these because Renala takes you along this stuff all the time, and you guys need to hide from getting in trouble, like now.
Like right now, yeah.
Like right the hell now. So you guys follow along. Thakit follows up behind you, and Renala is running just ahead of you. As you guys run along, she points up into the eaves, where you can see that there are a couple of like oh my god, what are they called? Yeah, you see a couple of like of beams, and up in the beams you can see that there is hanging a tapestry which has the symbol of the house, and you see her point to the very center of it, and she throws a dagger high, aiming for that very center point, just in the knotwork, just above where this tapestry is hanging. Oh, and yes, you just see this dagger just spinning through the air, and you see it hit the wood, and it kind of like vibrates and shakes. It's in there, but only just. And she looks back smiling, and she kind of like runs to one side to allow you guys through, but you can see she's beaming with just like, try that one.
All right. I'll take a shot and try and aim for the dagger itself that's in there. That's a 10. Wow, I'm rolling so poorly.
Wow, it's genetic.
Seriously, oh my god. I even have a +6. This is just embarrassing.
Yeah, I mean, you're young. You have that going for you. Balance does not. Also, that was supposed to be a disadvantage, my man.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well,
you're
I'll
running
roll again and see what happens. Yeah, it's a 10.
Yeah, that's fine. You aim for it, but you kind of hit the tapestry instead, and you see your arrow just go through it. And you see like some of the feathers just like getting stuck in the hole that your arrow had made. The arrow just goes sailing through it. But you see a couple of these little feathery things remaining in it. You just hear her laugh, and you hear Thakit's like, gosh darn it. As he does not much better. You see a second arrow just hitting square in the center of this tapestry. It's just stuck in there. I mean, it's not like the arrow's passed through and made a hole. It's just stuck square in the center of this tapestry. And again, Renala just like laughs at the pair of you and takes her place at the back.
All right, in the lead now?
You are indeed in the lead. Any idea where you want to head?
Okay. Let's head towards... Let's find the library.
Okay. Oh, this is perfect. All right. you know where the library is, and as you guys make your way there, you shoot a few more arrows as you're running through, like various pieces of this, that, and the other. A couple of bits not working, armor stands. Occasionally you hit things, occasionally you don't. You've yet to hit a person. Renala got pretty close on one occasion, throwing a dagger, and you just see it almost like skimming the top of the plumes of an officer as it kind of like bounces off one of these pillars, and you've never seen a girl move so fast in your life. You're not sure if you've been spotted, but your telltale laughter is well known in these halls. Mm-hmm. And you guys arrive at the library. The library has a large double oak door, which is ajar at this time, which is good because you guys can't stop running. Them's the rules. Mm-hmm. And you make your way inside. Renala goes up ahead, and she aims for a crossbeam when you're inside there, and you guys manage to basically either hit it or completely miss. Childish James continuing. You find yourself in the lead. You are currently up on the maisonette, which goes around the edge of this library, and below you can see many, many, many stacks. You can see a lot of tables and chairs, and you see a couple of lanterns, not lit, but ready to go when needed. You can see an old librarian there who's already getting up to chase you guys away with his long white beard and just clumping around, glasses perched on the end of his nose, these bloody children, I'm never gonna get the end of piece of this sort of thing. I'm just trying to read my book. And you just see him clomping around. You're up on the maisonette. There's quite a few stacks up here.
Yeah, I'm gonna aim for one of the stacks of books that's closest to something and see if I can just squeak by one and see if I can pin it in one of the bookshelves.
Okay. You as you're running across this a mezzanine area, up ahead you see on the wall you see a bracket with a torch in it, and you decide that this is probably going to be your target. There's a bookcase almost perfectly in line with it next to it. That's what you see. Make a roll.
There's a bit of disadvantage still, right?
You guys are, I believe, still running?
I believe so.
You guys are running in the library?
Them's the rules. We're crazy. Crazy kids. All right. Hey, that's not bad. 17.
Oh my god. It's the first time a Death Rider has hit a thing with a bow.
Yes! I did it, guys.
I might be doing Laffian of disservice, but I don't think I am.
I've brought honor to the family name.
You have. You see, so your arrow goes thud straight into this, you just graze past this torch, and it embeds itself into the wall beside it. And as you kind of take your, sort of run to one side to allow Thakit to take your place, you see him loose his arrow, and you see the arrow just go flying up and high and just bounce off a wall and fall down into the kind of area below. And you see you hear the old dwarf what are they shooting? Will you pack it in? It's a library. And Renala, her second to last dagger. You see this silvery dagger flying through the air. And you see it hit the torch. It just squarely hits the torch. But as it hits it, you kind of hear a metallic clunk. Mm-hmm. And you see that the stack that was against one wall next to it has just shifted inwards.
Closer to the fire?
Shifted in, into the wall. So it's created somewhat of an opening.
I'm going to slip through there. Keep on running.
Okay. Sure. Continuing this game.
Yeah. Oh, is it behind, in a corner kind of thing?
So essentially you hit the torch, which is on the wall. Mm-hmm. Oh, sorry. Renala hit the torch, which is on the wall. The bookcase that is to one side of it on the wall has just shifted inwards to create essentially a door.
All right, then I'm just going to remember that then.
You're not going to run inside?
Actually.
Okay, let me put it like this. After you in the order, I think was Thakit.
Yeah, it was Thakit.
So Thakit is running through this because he's not shown you this. Renala appears to be just as stunned as she kind of stops a minute and then runs to catch up with you guys. Thakit's hell for leather going to go through this. It's this is cool. Uh-huh. Come on, what are you waiting for? This is going to be fun. And he rushes through the gap.
Come on, Renata. We got this. I'm going
Alright.
to charge after him.
You hear her like struggling to catch up as you guys have a little bit of a lead on her. As you make your way through this bookcase/door, you find yourselves in a very small private little study. There is a very comfortable leather armchair and a leather sofa here. You can see there is a table, there is a desk. The writing desk itself has a lamp which is ready to be lit, sitting there waiting. But you guys just have a cracker shaft of light in here. You can see that there is a stack of papers next to the chair. You can see there are books all around this room. The room isn't particularly large. We're probably talking... Oh my god, why do I do this? I don't do sizes. 40 foot, let's do that. Let's just say it's a 40-foot square. I don't know how big that is. It's a room.
40 foot is roughly like... What is that? 10...
It's 10 dwarves.
Yeah. It's about 10 meters. A little bit more than 10 meters.
Okay. Well, I think you can fit an armchair and a sofa in there. Okay, let's put this. There's an armchair and a sofa and a desk in there and a bunch of books.
That can definitely fit all that.
Perfect. That's what's in here. This is cozy little place. You can also see that just above the armchair, there is one of those floating light orbs which your family gave to, or at least the elves gave to the dwarves way back when the alliance was formed. So there's some light in here. Thakit is going to aim at... what else is in here? There is actually quite a bit in here. Nope, that's all that really matters in here. You see Thakit tense his bow, and laughing again, he decides he's going to aim for this light orb because it's in the room, right?
Sure.
It's kind of moving, it kind of floats, it's magically there in the air, and as he goes running down these kind of like, as he goes running across this area and sort of like to go around the edge of the room, he loosed a shaft at the orb. And he completely and utterly misses this orb as you see this arrow just go. It's nowhere near the orb. It's not even in like the same vicinity of the orb. And you just hear him like, for goodness sake.
I'm like trying to stifle a laugh in the back.
Renala pulls out her last dagger. And she says, "Right, well, this is the last one." And she throws it across the room. And again, you see this dagger just go flying completely past this orb, as it bounces off a completely different wall. You see it bounce off like a tapestry that's on the wall, and it just kind of like slides down to the ground with a dull thud. Go on then, my man.
All right, let's do this. A 9. Damn it.
Okay.
Yeah, it's the disadvantage. It's killing me.
Yeah, that's what's killing you.
Yeah. It's not.
Blame it on
nothing to do with the
genetics.
death row to your name.
Yep. I blame it on genetics. Blooper side reel. I really hope that we manage to make Drew roll for some sort of bow or something. Then we can really find out if it's his fault.
This is why Pintor sticks to his rapier.
Yeah. Okay. As you loose this bow, just as Renala's realised that she's out of daggers and she's basically now out of the game, she's like, "Oh, what the hell am I gonna do now? Damn it!" And she says it at just the right point that you let go, very close to your ear, and your arrow goes sailing high into the air, straight into one of these light orbs.
Oh.
The light orb shatters and falls to the ground, and you see many sparks just shower from it. You see this small ball of light, this small ball of fire perhaps, just sink down to the ground, and as it begins to go out, you see it land in the pile of papers next to the chair. And then you hear that wonderful sound that every pyromaniac loves. Whoosh, crackle, 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 as the stack of papers begins to go up in flames. At this point, you hear from the doorway, "What the bloody hell is going on here?" And as you turn to look, Queen Rowena Darkhammer is standing in the doorway.
I stand in front of the papers.
Take a stealth check.
Okay.
I'm gonna say this is a disadvantage.
This is a disadvantage.
It's on fire.
Okay. At 13.
Funny enough, you do not hide the fact that there is a fire starting in these papers. She looks over at you all. She sees that Thakit has already loaded another arrow in preparation for the next part of your game.
Uh-huh.
And she looks angry. Rowena is quite stocky. She's got very shortly cropped red hair, trimmed sideburns. You know that that she is just as strong as her son. She's also a blacksmith. She is very good with her hands and very good, as you probably well know, as you've been instructed by her at some point, with her warhammer. And she looks ready to use it right now. But she stares the three of you, and she looks each of you in the eyes as you smell this burning going off behind you. And she looks each of you in the eye and she says, "What the bloody hell is going on?"
Don't punish them. This was my fault. I just wanted to practice with a bow, but
You see her shake her head.
things got out of hand.
"I need you to get out, Prince Pintor."
Yes, ma'am. Yes, Your Majesty. And I kind of give a look back towards Thakit and Renala, and I just start walking for the door.
You see Renala, as you look back at them, like looking between you, between the Queen and between Thakit, and as the loyal servant she is, she just stands there at Thakit's side, her face like a stony mask of being a servant once again. As you walk away, you sense and hear the Queen rushing forward, trying to put out these papers. And as you hit the very edge, you just hear her, well, say the edge of your hearing, realize she's about to shout, "You cannot miss this."
Mm-hmm.
As she says, "You don't understand what these were. These were everything your father ever sent me. Now it's gone." You're at the very edge of the library now.
I don't know what to do in this situation because I feel like I don't want to leave my best friend behind, but it's his mother.
She also is the Queen.
Yeah.
At this point, to push you along, you see the old dwarf with the long white beard, just like hobbling his way over. He doesn't look as angry as he did before. He's probably also well aware of this oncoming shitstorm that's about to be rained upon this family.
Yeah.
And he arrives and he says, "Well, young master, I think you probably better be heading back, Your Majesty. You don't really want to be here for this."
Yeah, I suppose you're right.
"I know I am. Go on. Go
I
take
start
a
heading
walk."
out. Yeah, I start heading out.
Okay. You head back to your rooms. I assume much pacing takes place, much waiting takes place.
Oh yeah, lots and lots of it.
Do you wait here or do you go to the spot?
I go to the spot.
Okay. You go to the spot, but neither Renala nor Thakit come for hours. At this point, although you guys are inside a mountain, inside the keep itself, you know that it's night. It's just one of those things you innately pick up of what time of day it is. You know that it's night before you see Thakit arriving. He is pale. He is... Actually, take an insight.
11.
You've never seen your friend so angry in his life. As he walks over towards you.
I'll stand up, but I don't say anything.
You see him holding himself tall. You see that the normal things he has on him, his crafting hammer, his blacksmithing hammer, his symbol of Gond is not on him. You see his fists are balled into, his fists are balled, they're ready. His body is shaking as he walks over towards you and just stands in front of you, just trying to catch his breath for a moment. And he says, finally, Prince Pintor, they sent her away.
What do you mean they sent her away?
You see him shake his head.
Where?
Renala.
I know, where?
You see him shrug his shoulders. She stepped up. Said it was her fault. Said it was her dagger that broke it.
God damn it. Fucking hell.
Soon she did. My mother took her word for it. She don't want to punish you. She want to punish me. All I know is that they took her.
I immediately walk away from him and I go find...
Hey, don't walk away.
I can't, let's be like this. It's not her fault. She doesn't deserve this. It was me.
I know that. You could have stayed. You could have said that it was all your fault. You're taking everything for it. You didn't. You just walked out. I know. She's my mother. But you're supposed to be my friend. I thought you were like a brother.
I'm gonna fix this. I'm gonna fix this right now. And I start taking off to go find his mother.
He goes with you. And where do you think she would be at this point? Where are you heading?
I would either assume that she's still cleaning up the mess where we left her, or...
Hang on. Do you think the Queen is going to be cleaning up the mess?
Well, no, but she would be there. If the papers had some sentimental value, she might still be there. Okay. Or she would be... I don't know. Where would she be? Drinking to not have to after the ordeal. So in a kitchen or a dining hall somewhere.
Okay. You guys head towards a dining hall. Thakit sort of begins to guide you to one side. Yes, he begins to guide you to roughly the correct hall where he believes that she would be. And as you arrive, you see Rowena, her very simple crown is just sitting on the table next to her. You can see that she's holding a glass of something very, very strong. You can smell it from where you are when you enter the hall. And you can see that she's rolling her wedding ring and her husband's wedding ring between her fingers. She has her back to you currently.
Pintor's face changes and also his voice changes. Mm-hmm. And he approaches her and bows before her and says, Your Majesty, it was me. I was the one that was at fault for all of this. Do not blame her. Do not blame Renala. It was my fault. It was my arrow that struck the light. She did not deserve this. Punish me instead.
She takes a sip of her liquid and she puts it down. And she gestures for you to sit at a chair near to her. And Thakit just grabs one and pulls it to where he's sitting, and he just sits down. He doesn't say a word to you.
I'll sit down. And I'll keep my head low.
She leans forward, more a friend at this point than more someone who wants to share something than the Queen. Mm-hmm. As you notice, her crown is not on at this point. And she leans forward and she says, Pintor, what that girl did, she's smarter than both of you combined. If this, what you destroyed, it means everything to me, meant everything to me. I've got nothing left of him now other than him and this. And she points to the ring. She points then to Thakit. In times of old, that would create... It would be enough to spark some sort of minor war, some sort of Damages, punitive. I'd have to bring it up with your aunt. How much do you know of what's going on right now?
Not much, Your Majesty, other than what my father's told me, which is...
No, not Your Majesty, not right now. I can't. It's just Rowena.
As you wish, Rowena. Just what my father's told me. I know that there have been some arrangements that my father's trying to see to. And he's told me about some plans. But no real details.
She nods. If asked to bring this up with your family, aunt, this could spark something far more. And I could punish you separate from that, but right now, it wouldn't be good for you. I'm sad and I'm angry. Some of that stuff was very important, not just because he wrote it, but because of what he wrote. Some of them were letters to me, some of them were laws written. I've got to try and find a way of explaining why some of our newer laws are missing. Someone needs to take the blame for that, and that's what your Renala did. Don't get me wrong, I like her to bits. She's a nice enough lass, but...
Where is she?
I had one of the guards escort her from the place, from the stronghold. I don't know where she is. I can't know.
I'm sorry.
I see her shake her head and drink a bit more. She puts the glass back down, empty. I know you three are just kids, and she looks at her son, and you see her smile just a little bit and look back at you. I was a kid once myself. In fact, me and you taking this check?
16.
You see her smile very fondly at a memory. And she says, I remember playing similar games with your older brother. My God, did we get into a bit of trouble here and there. You see her smile again. Reach for a glass, realise it's empty and put it back down again. Your brother was a good sort. I remember being just as close to him when we started growing up as you two are. And then, things happened as they did and we went our separate ways. I became queen and, well, he died, so... In future, just try and bear in mind that as long as you two are, your actions are going to have major consequences. Go on, get out of my sight before I start waxing lyrical at you. Go on.
I'll stand up and start heading towards the door.
As you head towards the door, you notice something slithering into the room. Something that's dark green in nature.
I'm going to walk over to it.
As you get there, you recognize your mother's companion, your mother's friend, your mother's familiar. You recognize the snake known as Nipped. And as you approach, it curls itself around your leg, climbs up and settles around your left wrist.
Oh no. Oh no.
I need to know, how much have you told Thakit?
Definitely not this. That this was a sign. But he would definitely know that I know Lafayette is alive.
Okay. Thakit walks over. He's still pissed and annoyed, but less than he was before. He looks at Nipped on your wrist. He looks up at you with a question. What's going on? What's Nipped here for?
My face is paler than it usually is, and I'm sweating. And I turn to him and I say, my mom and dad are in trouble.
All right.
I gotta get to my brother.
Are you saying this quietly?
Yes.
I need you to take a stealth check, and it's being opposed by Rowena's perception.
24.
I'm not shitting you.
You rolled a natural 20?
Yeah.
God damn it.
Which makes it 24.
Oh, I get a good roll finally.
You finally get a good roll, and the queen that she is.
Of course. I should have known the queen of all people.
Of course, Queen Rowena.
God damn it.
I'll tell you what, we'll play this out subtly differently.
Uh-huh.
Thakit grabs you by the elbow and he pushes you out of the room. And he says, You can't be saying that around my mother.
I don't have a choice right now. This means my mom and dad are in life-threatening danger.
Look, we're not quite all right, but I wasn't joking. You really are like a brother. So if you need me, I'm in. It's family.
You've always been like a brother to me.
Good. So, where are we going?
Well, the last place I heard he was at. Folsom.
You see him, thinking. You see him thinking, almost literally. It says, Isn't that the one that recently became Dawn?
Oi.
Fuck.
Yeah. Get your things. We're going on a trip.
All right, I'll meet you back at the spot. I'll go get what we need.
All right.
You get your stuff, I'll get my stuff.
Right.
And you see him take off running towards the armory. I assume you go back to your quarters. You have some assigned.
Yes, I will go to my quarters. I will get as many things as I can. I'm still going to have to get my bow and arrows and my rapier.
Thakit is after that.
Okay, cool.
He's gone for that. You meet, as you get to the spot, take a perception check.
19.
Okay, as you make your way to the spot, on the way there, as you're making your way through the courtyard, you see a couple of the guards, and you see them walking your friend Renala out. They're gripping her quite tightly by the arms, and she just seems to be quietly taking it. Her head is down. You can't really see too much of her features from here, but you can tell she's being escorted out. You can see a very small bag being held by one of the guards, and they are manhandling her out of the stronghold.
I'm going to stay behind them.
Okay. As they get to the kind of the checkpoint, the gate area of the stronghold within the mountain itself, you see her being roughly ejected. They throw her to the ground. They throw the bag out after her. And you see it kind of like hit her in the shoulders, and she winces a lot. And the guards just turn around and walk back, laughing and joking.
As the guards walk off, I memorize their faces.
Good to know. All right. You know one as Endron. He is a short, stocky dwarf. And you know the other one as Joneth, who is a very tall, lithe half-dwarf.
Okay.
All right. You know these two. They are marked.
Okay.
What do you want to do now? The guards have cleared. She's grabbing her, slowly getting her onto her feet and grabbing her bag and rolling her shoulders back.
I help her to her feet. And I say, why'd you do that?
She gives you she gives you a stare. Not quite sure what it means. And she says, well, wasn't really any other choice, was there? I mean, I know what's going on. I keep my ear to the ground. I hear things.
Renola, I promise. You will never know a day of hardship for the rest of your life. I promise to you.
She shakes her head. Don't promise what you can't keep. It's not befitting a king or a prince or whatever you're going to be. I'm going to be fine. I've got skills. And she smiles and puts her hand on the side of your face and then very quickly takes it away again. It doesn't matter about me. I mean, you two are going to be great kings one day. And, no, my life would be better because of it. I hope. At this point, you hear clunk, 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 clunk.
Where are you going to go?
Don't know yet. I mean, I've got to find something. The family needs relying on me. And you hear Take It turn up. And he sort of like looks at the pair of you and realizing he might be interrupting something and just clunks back a few steps. Ever the subtle person.
Renola, I have to go. Really, something important has come up. My mom and dad are in danger.
Oh my god. Like, real danger?
Like the most danger.
Is there anything... I know I'm just a serving girl and do a little bit of magic. Is there anything I can do?
Promise me something.
Anything?
You'll be here when I get back.
Well, I don't really have the money to go anywhere else.
I take any
Kind
amount
of
of money I
just
have
now.
on me and put it in her hand.
As you do that, she pulls her hand away and you hear her coming from behind you, behind Thakit. And Renala has rolled her hand, her shoulder out of the way of whatever it is you're trying to give her. Oh, Your Majesty. And you see her like drop to one knee. She would never do this for either of you. This could only be one person.
I will immediately turn around and bow.
All right. What the two of you doing? And this time, she has her crown on, her rings are back in the correct place, and she has her formal bearing.
I reach out my arm and show her nipped wrapped around my arm.
She raises an eyebrow. That's your mother's?
Yes, Your Majesty. I'm afraid that my family might be in danger.
Our families are always in danger. Comes part and parcel of being, rulers.
This was a direct message from my mother. If Nipt is here, both her and my father's lives are in danger.
Why is she sending you a message and not your aunt?
Because I know about Laffian.
She frowns. And she directs you guys inside Renala as well when she attempts to leave. Come over here. And she pulls you essentially into what looks like just a guard hut on one side. And as soon as she walks in, you see the two guards just like dropping to one knee. And she just means like, get out. And without a word, they just get up and leave. And the four of you bundle your way into this small thing. As she sits on the table. Again, she takes her crown, her rings off. She sits almost cross-legged on this table. She's interested and very informal at this point. All right, Pintor, what about your brother? I've got suspicions. What you're about to tell me, what did he do?
He's alive.
You see her eyes open wide. She seems a little taken back. Not quite what I was expecting.
He's been alive. He's in Folsom.
Well, that's a little bit out of our jurisdiction these days.
So I've been told.
Why is he in Folsom? Why is he supposedly dead?
Why is anybody in Folsom?
Because they like the scenery? I don't know. What's he doing there?
He's in prison.
Again, you see her raise her eyebrows and kind of like nod to herself a moment, just very slowly thinking things through. So the accident that claimed that, I think her name was Nimverna,
Yes.
didn't claim his life. Did
No.
he do it?
I don't know. I wasn't there for. But
Clearly,
from the stories I've been told about him, I don't think he would have.
funnily enough, I knew your brother far longer than you ever could have. I don't know.
Well,
he changed a lot since we were kids.
He's the only family I got left.
All right, so what exactly does that mean? And she looks at Nipt.
I'm going to need help to get my family back. And if we go in with an army, might not look too good. If I can get my brother, though, he may be able to do some help for me. He may be more inclined to help, given the circumstances.
Your brother's been excommunicated. There's no way he can ever take... And then you see kind of a little bit of an idea dawning on her face. All right, Pintor, I'm going to need you to wait the night out. I need to go have a conversation with the council. I'm sorry the two of you can't be here for that. I know normally I don't mind, but I can't have you here for this. I'm going to need you to deliver a message.
All right.
Okay, get yourself sorted out. Don't say a word to anyone. Renala, thank you for what you did. And so far as anybody else is going to know, you still have to take the blame for this, but we'll do what we can to help you out. Go with these two. You're old enough to be their mentor or guide. You fuck this up, well, we're all fucked actually, so keep the group small. All right, arrange the things you might need. Get yourself some horses sorted out. Get yourself some proper armor. And she looks at you more intrinsically than anyone else. Make sure you get yourselves hidden. There's plenty of people around here who can help you out with that.
Staying hidden's what I do best.
I know, you're a sneaky little bugger. Okay. I'll meet you in that place where you guys think you can always hide. I'll have something for you to give. I'll see you in the morning. Bright and early. And with that, she gets up and grabs her things and leaves. The morning rolls round. Renala is cleaned up. She has some fresher clothes on. She has supplies. She has everything she thinks she's going to need. She has a nice brace of daggers. You can see there is a small rapier on her hip. And she has her hair tied back. She clearly means business today, but she's not wearing any of the house markings. Thakit has turned up in a similar approach. He is, however, wearing his similar gaunt. He is carrying his smithing hammer. You can see he is kitted out in fairly decent, very well made armor. He's wearing plate. And he has his bow strapped to his shoulder. Not that he really uses it in the fight, but he has it there just in case.
I definitely show up not wearing any markings of the house I belong to. Okay. I have a relatively simplistic black cloak that I keep up at all times. Simple black leather armor and just basic simple clothing underneath. Nothing fancy.
As the three of you meet in the spot, Rowena is not too far behind. Just as the three of you have just draw breath enough to say hello, good morning, or, what the hell are you doing here? Rowena turns up and she is holding a small round a cylindrical wooden box. It's probably about 8 inches long.
Okay. Small scroll size.
It's a scroll box.
Yeah.
Yes. Correct. She's holding the box. It's not sealed yet. It's not closed. As she approaches you and she gives you all a morning nod. She says, okay, your brother is excommunicated. There is going to probably be an impending civil war. And your parents are in trouble. Your father is harsh, but he's always been fair. And if your brother Laffian really is alive, then maybe he can do good for both of us. We need to try and stop this war, and we need to try and figure out how best to get him back on side. If your parents gone, your father gone, there's no, in my opinion, real sane word on your aunt's counsel. I know that's treacherous to say, but I'm laying it on the line here.
I didn't hear a thing.
Good. I'm sorry. And I'm sorry to put you in this position, but if you've got to go find him and then go find your parents. But I need you to give him this. And she pulls the scroll out of the scroll box. It's a plain piece of parchment, and it's sealed with white wax. And you can see that embedded in it is the sigil of her house. But more importantly, braided into this white wax seal are white ribbons with a streak of bronze. The bronze being her house, the 2 white streaks. You would know this scroll to be a petition of marriage. I know he doesn't have any blood right anymore. But I think if people can see that we're putting aside our differences and that your aunt or whatever happened, there were lies with your brother because I thought he was dead. People need to know this. I've been working with your father to try and unseat Glengareth, but this might be the only play we've got left.
My eyes are wide looking at the scroll, and I kind of give a small glance towards Renala and then back to the queen, and I will hand her back the scroll so she can put it back in the box.
She puts it back in the box and closes the lid.
I'll make sure he gets this.
Make sure he knows how important it is. I know that your aunt, I know that Queen Glengareth has instigated some of the old blood rules. And again, you noticed her looking at you and then glancing her eyes across to Renala and back to you. It's just a flash. But she's not stupid, and you think she knows. But he won't be marrying on elven customs. He'll be marrying on Dwarven.
Something tells me he's probably not going to be worrying about elven customs anytime soon.
I don't know. Your brother was always a bit of a stickler even way back then. Your brother was a good person when I knew him. Now I don't know. I'll let you be the judge of that.
Regardless, this is going to be exciting to meet him.
Well, if you keep up that kind of way of talking, no one is ever going to believe you're Prince Pintor. And she looks over at Thakit and she gives him a big hug. And you tell that she's muttering something in his ear. And you see him nod and you see them part and you can see there are some tears collecting in both their eyes. And she looks at him and says, in Dwarvish, you be careful. If things go sideways. Well, as much as I love you, Pintor, you tell him to go fuck himself when you get home because we can't lose 2 princes, you hear?
I'll say back in Dwarvish. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, you can knock that shit off as well. And she pulls you into a big hug as well. She gives a small bag over to Renala. You're not sure what's in it at this point, but possibly something useful. You can hear it jangling. It's some sort of metalwork. And she looks at the 3 of you and she says, well, you'd better be off. Renala, there's something in there for you to be able to keep contact in case you need it. I've given you some of the best metalwork I have. You take care. You get that to him. You get your parents back. Things are going to be changing. It may not be for the best, Pintor.
Don't worry. I'll be fine. I got fake it washing my back.
you hear him chuckle and Renala. The bear women just like laughing and just like, they're kind of like, yeah, Pintor, Thakit puts his arm around your shoulder and Renala just very boldly just takes your hand. And she smiles at Rowena smiles at the 3 of you and says, well, you best be on your way. Go on, get going.
We'll be back. And we start heading out.
Are you boldly walking out the front gates? Are you trying to sneak your way? Are you going to acquire yourself horses? I need to
I
you
would
know what's
definitely
going on.
say we would acquire some horses, trying to keep everyone's, if I see our faces, they're immediately going to know who we are. But basically trying to acquire horses as quietly as possible, paying extra if we need to keep people quiet, and getting on horseback and heading out of the city.
As you go to pay some hush-hush money, Renala opens the bag and sees that there is quite a quantity of small gems and gold in here. But she also notices that there is a very, very fine set of daggers in there, very ornate, very strong daggers. And she also notices something a bit smaller. It's more like a pin or a brooch. It's a duplicate of must be a rapier. And she hands it over to you.
I'll take a look at it. What is it?
As you take it in your hands, you feel a small surge of magic coming from the item.
Oh.
And you have acquired yourself a magical item.
Oh.
But since you've not attuned to it, I'm not going to tell you what it is.
Okay. That sounds good to me.
Yeah. So you guys have these things. You make your way out. You make your way out of the Darkhammer stronghold. You make your way out of the mountainside itself. It's fairly early at this point. There are some people wandering around. You make your way out of the mountain, out of the small kind of slum. The small slum town, which is kind of built up around the edge of it, where you know most likely where Renala's family has come from. And you guys make your way out of this, and you are traveling probably for a good day. And the sun begins to set. And as the sun begins to set, the horses begin to panic a bit. You can tell this is definitely some sort of danger sense. And then you feel the world shake beneath you. And I need you to make an animal handling check.
This is going to be a bit bad. Oh, that's not bad. 17.
Excellent. The three of you manage to hold onto your horses as they rear back, as the ground shakes heavily beneath you. And then you feel dampness and wetness all around. You feel it on the back of your neck. And as you look up, the sky is dark red. The clouds are boiling over. And as you look up, you realize it's raining blood. Hi, I'm Belinda. I voice the world.
Hi, I'm Bucky. I voice Pintor.
Awesome. So we can find us on Twitter at
TLD Pod.
Nailed it. We can find you at
You can find me at Bucky_Masters.
And we can find you on
You can find me on the Taking Initiative podcast.
Nailed it. Are we done?
That's it. We're good.
All right, we're done. Thanks. Okay, we're good.
Perfect.
Welcome back to... Wait, where am I? What's this? Josh, we need you to record this promo clip, blah, blah, blah. You better do a good job or we are quitting your BS Curse of Straw nonsense. Well, I'm not quite sure how to take that, but hey, everybody. I'm the current DM for Taking Initiative, a D&D 5e podcast. We're a bunch of goofs that love the game and wanted to share our playstyle at the table while still delivering a story you can enjoy and follow, even if you've never played the game before. We're Taking Initiative wherever you get your podcasts, or you can go to thespark.network for all other info. A cassette tape? Montage for promo. A cassette tape, really?
Kent! Just the man I was looking for.
I'm so clumsy today. I'm going to tie the pants around his head so that he can't speak or see.
It's our scene, Kent. It's our scene in Kent.
Halflings in particular. Small, ugly, children-looking motherfuckers like yourself.
They weren't exciting, but they were mine. They were my people.
And now they're mine.